Hey guys, my name is Jay. Thank you so much for joining me on day number 1 of this 7-day guitar challenge. I promise you, if you can commit to doing 10 minutes a day for the next 7 days and following these challenge videos, you're going to get really good really quickly, because I'm going to show you the absolute easiest possible way to play this instrument. I've been so blessed to teach well over 10,000 students, and the techniques that I teach just make this all so easy. So please listen to everything that I say. One thing I'll just quickly say before I go on, if you like what I do, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Also, I have the full 6-week course on my website that goes into way more detail, but that's a story for another day. So let's get into it. Okay, so firstly, if you're a beginner guitarist or you've played guitar before and it's been sitting there for a while and you're picking it back up, again, you're 100% in the right place. I'm just going to go through some basics first. So this is the body of the guitar, this is the neck of the guitar, and this is the headstock, okay? And these are the tuning heads. Don't worry too much today about tuning your guitar. Let's just have some fun, but I do have a link in the description below to my how to tune the guitar the easy way, and that system, just follow that video and makes it super easy to tune. So when you're holding the guitar, if you're right-handed, this little hump here is going to go over your right leg. If you're left-handed, it'll be the other way around, okay? And the guitar will obviously be pointing the other way around. But most guitarists are right-handed, so I'm going to go this way. Whenever I'm playing an instrument, I always use it as a good excuse to have a really good posture. So try and sit up straight. We spend enough of our days these days hunched over, so sit up nice and straight. With a guitar sitting on your body, you don't want it tilted back too far this way or tilted too much this way. That makes it hard to play. I know you might say, well, if I hold it like this, I can see the frets really easy. Well, that's well and good, but it's really hard on your wrist, okay? So try and have the guitar sitting on your body pretty much on a 90-degree angle to your body, just flush against your belly. And ideally, we want the headstock and the neck just pointing slightly up, pretty much like that. If it's flat like that, that's okay, but it does make it a bit harder. And if the headstock's ever pointing to the ground, that's a big no-no, okay? That makes it really hard to play. Up a little bit like this is great. You'll even see the virtuoso guitarists have it up more like this. Classical guitarists and virtuosos that have really big stretches and amazing techniques, they'll play like that, but this kind of looks a bit cooler and it's pretty comfortable to play. Today we're going to talk mostly about the right hand technique, and the first thing I want to show you is how to hold a guitar pick. I want you to think of it like the guitar pick is an extension of your body, okay? It's an extension of your fingertip. Now, you might not play with a guitar pick, you might play with your fingers, that's okay. Honestly, to begin with, the guitar pick is generally a bit easier. You might disagree and say, no, I could never play with a pick. I've had like thousands of students say that to me, and if they use this technique to use the pick for a couple of weeks, all of a sudden they're like, wow, I really like that pick, and now I can do all this other cool stuff as well. The pick just gives you the ability to get different sorts of tones and dig in different ways that you can't with your fingers, and really finger style is a little bit more advanced as well. So either or, but for today's lesson you can do what I'm about to show you with a pick, or you can do it without a pick anyway, so you'll work it out as we go. But again, I like to think of the pick as an extension of my body. So when I'm holding the pick, it's just coming out from the tip of my finger, straight up from the tip, about 1/2 centimeter. If you're in America, that's about 1/3 of an inch. And as I kind of bring my thumb around, it comes around like on a 90-degree angle, just like that. So it makes it really easy to hold. That should be coming again straight out from the tip of my finger like that. So as I hold it with my thumb, I'm going to point that pick straight back at the guitar. As I strum, what I'm going to ask you to do now is to go down and up across the 6 strings. Now, if you want to use your fingers without a pick, it's the same kind of technique. So you can use your finger. The problem by doing that, if you play a lot, you're going to wear out your finger, which is why a pick is great. So this week, every time you pick up the guitar, I just want you to go down and up and down and up across the 6 strings. Now, my arm is resting on the guitar comfortably like this. This part of my arm here around my elbow is touching the top of the guitar there. And that technique, I've got a really nice loose grip on my guitar pick, so you can actually see if I slow it down, my pick is actually moving down and up by itself. I'm not moving my wrists too much like this. There's not too much of that movement. It's quite relaxed and effortless. I call this the windscreen wiper technique, okay? So today you're learning the windscreen wiper. I want you to do that every day this week for like a couple of minutes every time you pick up the guitar. When you hit the 6 strings, I want you to try and hit all 6 of them evenly, as if you were playing all the notes at the same time. And what I said a minute ago about holding that pick with a loose grip, you might find this week that you drop the pick. That's not a bad thing. If you've got a loose grip and you drop the pick, that means you're on the right track. If it's too stiff, it sounds like this. Okay. And it kind of sounds like it's ripping the guitar strings off the guitar. That's not what we want. We want a loose grip. You also might find while you're playing that the pick goes that way or that way and starts moving, in different directions again, or drops out of your hand. That's not a bad thing. It's going to settle down, but it's really important that you have a nice loose grip, and you can hear that tone compared to holding it too tightly. When it's loose, it's got that beautiful, sweet, soft sound about it. Okay. Now, as I speed up that technique, the same kind of thing happens, but this week I just want you to keep it nice and slow and steady. Try and get that down and up motion really steady, and try and hit all 6 strings equally. So you want to hit all 6 on the way down and all 6 on the way up. And ideally you want your downstroke and your upstroke to sound kind of the same. Now I want to show you something else today that's really important, and this is the second technique that we use with our right hand. This technique is called the pivots, and this pivot is fantastic for hitting individual strings. You see, the problem with the windscreen wiper, as good as it is for hitting sets of strings, it's terrible if you want to hit individual strings. So if you want to play something funky, okay, play individual strings, that's no good, the windscreen wiper. We have to use a different technique called a pivot. This is a game changer, by the way. If you've ever struggled to hit individual strings, this is exactly why. Please follow these steps. Again, it's going to make you really good really quickly. You're about to see some pretty crazy improvements in your playing. Check this out. What I want you to do is have your right hand, the edge of the palm here, I want it to sit on this bridge here. Okay, so this is called the bridge. Now I'm resting the edge of my palm touching right on the bridge there. Okay, you can see it touching right there. Now it's just behind this white bit of plastic here, and that's called the saddle. If my hand goes over the saddle, it's going to actually mute the strings, so they start sounding really dead. That's an effect we actually use a lot in our playing later in the course, but for now we're just going to have it like back here. And what I want you to do is I want you to play this first string here. Now this first string is called the low E string. It's the lowest note on the guitar. When I say low, I'm talking in pitch, so it's low, not high. Okay, so low E string. So what I want you to do is with your hand on the pivot, I want you to play that low E string. Now, when you play that low E string, I want you to play into the next string. That next string is called the A string. So today we're going to learn the low E and the A. Okay, and I need you to commit these to memory. Okay, low E, then A. Good job. So what I want you to do, please, is to play the low E string 4 times. Good job. Again, I've got my hand on that pivot and I'm playing into the next string. Now, by playing into the next string like that, it allows me to know exactly where I am on the guitar, so I can feel exactly where I am, as opposed to playing like this out of the guitar. I don't know where I am. Okay? So this way it makes it really easy, and you can hear there's actually the tone sounds better as well. Okay, what I would like you to do now is to play the next string, the A string, 4 times. Again, 1, we're going to play into the next string, 2, 3, 4. Good job. Next one, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the next string, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the next string, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the last string, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well done. How did you go? I bet you almost had 100% success rate. Okay, so check this out. This is the game changer. What I want you to do now is to do the exact same thing you just did, except I want you to do it with your eyes closed or looking away from the guitar. So don't look at the guitar. Now, firstly, you can get yourself set up. So get your hand on the pivot, get it all ready to play here. My pick's lined up again around the back of the sound hole here. I've got my hand on the pivot, and I'm going to play each string 4 times. Remember to play into the next guitar string. If you play out, you're not going to get this. So get it all set up. Get ready to play into the next string. Here we go. I'll count you in. Now, looking at the wall, or closing your eyes, or looking at the roof, or looking at me. Okay, don't look at the guitar. Here we go. 3, 4. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Well done. Again, I bet you got almost 100% on that. Have another go if you made a mistake, and I bet you the second time around you get it. Now, how did you do that so perfectly? How did you just play all 6 strings 4 times without even looking at the guitar? The reason you did that is because you had your hand on that pivot. If you were playing with the windscreen wiper technique like we started with, there is no way you would have got that accuracy, and you would have been all over the place. You would have missed heaps of strings. Because of that pivot, you can feel exactly where you are. All this stuff I showed you today is so simple, but it makes your musical journey and playing this instrument so easy. So this week, every time you pick up the guitar, I want you to do the windscreen wiper. And just get really comfortable with that. You can speed it up a little bit if you want, but just make sure it's really even and really comfortable. Okay? The other thing I want you to do is put your right hand on that pivot and play each string 4 times. Practice it once looking and once looking away. Okay? Remember today as well, we learned the names of 2 of the strings. We learned the low E string, this first string here, and the A string. I'll tell you what, I'll teach you one more today as well. This top string here, the highest string on the guitar at the end there, the 6th string, that's called the high E. So you've actually got 2 E's. You've got a low E string and you've got a high E string at the other end. Okay, and the next string again is the A string. Now, why would they do it like that? Why would they call that second string the A? Why wouldn't they just call the first string the A? Wouldn't that make more sense? Yes, it probably would make more sense. The reason they did that is because think back in the day, like the medieval days, musicians, magicians, the word musician actually comes from the word magician. You know, I'm thinking back in kind of the medieval days, right? So magicians didn't want their secrets to be known. They want all their tricks to be kept a secret. If everyone knows the tricks, then everyone can do what they do. It's the same with musicians. Musicians want all their secrets to be kept secret so they don't get out, so not everyone can do it, but obviously things have changed. The way I teach with all my courses is I exploit all of the secrets. So I call them glitches in the system. So I literally teach the secrets. I teach the glitches in music theory, of which there is heaps. Once you understand all the secrets and the glitches, just like going to see a magician and you know all the tricks to the magic tricks, well, it makes everything really easy to understand and really easy to learn. You have done such an amazing job today. In the next lesson, we're going to start talking about the left hand. I know today is really simple, but that's the way I like to do it. Keep it really easy. Again, once you understand these basic techniques, you can fly to learn the guitar really quickly and get really advanced really quick, okay? I'll see you in day number 2. Again, if you like what I do, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much.